Hey there, it's John. Today we're diving into a story that's older than most countries and more influential than you might think. Did you know that some of the legal ideas that protect your rights today trace back over 1,500 years? The roots of our modern justice system run deep, deeper than most people realize. We're talking about the Justinian Code, a legal system from the Byzantine Empire that still shapes laws worldwide. It's a set of rules and principles that have echoed through the ages, influencing everything from courtrooms to constitutions. This isn't just a relic. It's the legal DNA of the modern world, born from an emperor's obsession with order. Justinian wanted to bring clarity and unity to a world tangled in legal confusion. The Justinian Code, or Corpus Juris Civilis, is a historical miracle of survival. It's a collection that managed to endure centuries of upheaval and change. Back then, Roman laws were a chaotic mess, contradictory, confusing, and nearly impossible to follow. Imagine trying to live by rules that even the experts couldn't agree on. Justinian's team rescued and organized these laws, creating a foundation that would shape civilizations for centuries. Their work brought order to chaos and set a new standard for legal systems everywhere. After being compiled in the 6th century, the code was lost to Western Europe, only to be rediscovered in Italy centuries later. Its return was like finding a lost treasure chest of wisdom. That rediscovery sparked a revolution. Suddenly, scholars and rulers had a sophisticated legal framework to build on. Universities sprang up, and the study of law flourished like never before. The Justinian Code isn't just history, it's a living influence, defining justice and rights in societies across the globe. Its principles are still echoed in legal systems from Europe to Latin America. It's proof that a good system of rules can outlive empires and continue to shape our world, reminding us that the past is never really gone. It's written into the laws we live by today. So, who was behind this legal revolution that would shape the world for centuries? Meet Emperor Justinian I, a ruler whose ambition and vision would leave a mark on history. Ruling the Byzantine Empire from 527 to 565 CE, Justinian rose from humble beginnings with a vision to restore Rome's lost glory. He dreamed of uniting his people under a single, powerful empire and believed that order was the key to greatness. His empire was grand, stretching across continents, but its legal system was a disaster. Centuries of laws piled up, full of contradictions and confusion. No one could keep track of what was right or wrong. Imagine running a country where one law says yes, another says no, and both are valid. Judges, officials, and citizens were left bewildered, unsure which rules to follow. Justinian saw this chaos as a threat to stability and the very survival of his empire. He believed a unified, clear legal system was essential for justice and order. Without it, society would crumble and the empire would weaken. His goal was monumental: sift through a millennium of Roman law, keep the best, and create a single, authoritative code that everyone could understand and follow. For Justinian, this was more than tidying up. It was a sacred mission, a calling that would define his reign and legacy. As a devout Christian, he saw law as the glue of society and a reflection of divine order. To him, justice was not just a human concern, but a spiritual one. He wanted one empire, one church, one law, an unbreakable unity that would stand the test of time. This drive for order fueled one of history's most ambitious legal reforms, inspiring generations to come. Justinian set out to build a legal legacy that would outlast his military conquests. And through his determination, he did just that, shaping the very foundation of law for centuries to follow. So what is the Justinian Code, really? It's not just one book, but a collection called the Body of Civil Law. It's made up of 4 parts, each with a unique role. First, the main rule book, streamlining thousands of imperial laws into a single, organized collection. Second, the OR, a massive anthology of the greatest Roman legal minds, condensed into 50 books. Third, a textbook for law students, introducing the basics of Roman law. And fourth, the new laws issued by Justinian after the first 3 parts were finished. Together, these 4 parts created a comprehensive legal system. The code wasn't just for lawyers. It was designed to be the final word on Roman law for everyone. It clarified, organized, and made the law accessible. This structure became the model for legal systems for centuries to come. That's why it still matters. How do you create a legal masterpiece? With a dream team. Justinian assembled top legal minds, led by Tribonian, his brilliant chief legal minister. In 528 CE, they began by tackling the sorting through centuries of laws in the imperial archives. In just over a year, they produced the first edition, a huge achievement. Next, Tribonian led a larger team to create the distilling wisdom from thousands of legal texts. They edited, clarified, and organized the material for a new era. Simultaneously, Tribonian and two professors wrote A Modern Law textbook. By 533 CE, the and were published together. The urgency and vision behind this project were unmatched. Justinian and his team weren't just cleaning up laws, they were forging a new legal identity for the empire. Their work set the standard for legal systems worldwide. What did the Justinian Code actually say? This monumental collection of laws, compiled in the 6th century, was designed to bring order and clarity to a vast and diverse empire. It covered nearly every aspect of life, from the most public matters to the most private, and some of its ideas were surprisingly modern for their time. In family law, it required marriage by mutual consent, recognizing the importance of agreement between partners. It also protected a wife's right to her dowry, ensuring that her property was safeguarded even if the marriage ended. This gave women rare financial security in a world where their rights were often limited. Property law was detailed and comprehensive, with clear rules for ownership, inheritance, and the transfer of wealth between generations. Contracts were strictly regulated, creating stability for economic growth and helping to build trust in business. The code established the principle of innocent until proven guilty, a revolutionary idea that protected the rights of the accused. This principle became a foundation of modern justice systems around the world. The code aimed to make law accessible and predictable so that ordinary people could understand their rights and obligations. Laws were not to be subject to the whims of the powerful, but to be applied fairly to all. But it wasn't all progressive. The code upheld slavery, treating enslaved people as property rather than individuals. It also enforced harsh religious conformity, punishing those who strayed from official beliefs. Still, the Justinian Code laid the groundwork for many modern legal freedoms and inspired future generations of lawmakers. The code's mix of innovation and tradition reflected its complex world. It shaped justice, property, and the very structure of society. Its influence on personal rights and legal systems has lasted for generations, echoing through centuries of change. Even today, echoes of the Justinian Code are still felt in courtrooms and legal codes around the world. The Justinian Code was a product of its time, shaped by the values and challenges of a vast empire, and yet it became a blueprint for the future. That's its real legacy, a bridge between ancient tradition and the modern world. The Justinian Code's real journey began after its creation. Lost in Western Europe for centuries, it was rediscovered in Italy around 1070. Scholars at the University of Bologna studied it intensely, sparking a legal revolution. Students spread its principles across Europe, laying the foundation for civil law traditions. Kings loved its clarity. It helped centralize power and fuel economic growth. The Napoleonic Code, inspired by Justinian's work, unified French law and spread across Europe. Today, most of continental Europe's legal systems are built on this Roman foundation. The Code's influence is everywhere. The Justinian Code's influence didn't stop in Europe, it went global. Colonial powers exported civil law systems based on Roman principles to the Americas, Africa, and Asia. That's why most countries today have legal systems rooted in Justinian's Code. Even in the US, Louisiana's civil law comes from this tradition, thanks to its French and Spanish heritage. Countries like Japan and Turkey adopted civil law systems inspired by Roman models. The code's structure, logical, written, focused on property and contracts, proved adaptable worldwide. From Latin America to Asia, Justinian's legal legacy lives on. A 1500-year-old code still shapes our world. But how did these laws affect real people? Let's imagine a few lives shaped by the code. Theodora, a Byzantine woman, kept her dowry if widowed or divorced, giving her rare economic independence. Marcus, a merchant, could rely on clear contracts and legal remedies if a deal went wrong, making trade safer. Demetrios, an enslaved man, could be freed by his master's will, gaining citizenship and rights for his children. The code made justice more predictable, allowing people to plan and protect their interests. It wasn't perfect. Inequality and harsh rules remained, but it brought order to chaos and gave ordinary people new legal protections. Marriage, business, inheritance, even freedom. The code touched every part of life. It turned abstract law into real-world impact. By making justice more rational, it changed lives. The code's legacy is found in the stories of those it touched. That's what made it revolutionary. So why care about a 1500-year-old law code today? The Justinian Code shows how ideas about justice and rights are passed down and shape our world. Its principles, written laws, accessible justice, individual rights, still form the backbone of modern legal systems. Studying the code reminds us that law is a human invention, built to solve real problems. Justinian's reforms show that ambitious change is possible with vision and determination. His legal legacy outlasted empires and still influences billions. If you enjoyed this journey, join our community to explore more hidden connections between past and present. Thanks for watching. See you next time.